Coming up on this episode of Heal Squad.
We talk about stress like it's normal now. Being wired and exhausted and overstimulated and running on caffeine and adrenaline is normal now. What are the signs the nervous system is maybe feeling safe again?
My deep belief, take this to the grave, is that everything starts with your perception and your thought.
In Chinese medicine, we understand that stress actually affects the liver first. It's not the kidneys like we understand in Western medicine, adrenal fatigue, fight or flight. That is a different pathway, but it is not understood as the first for Chinese medicine. The liver is affected with anger, with anxiety, and that has an impact on other organs.
Resetting the mind. Tammy, you mentioned in the past that there are different parts of us. One part of us wants rest while another one keeps pushing. Can you explain a little bit about that?
If you see yourself as the conductor of your orchestra, maybe the tuba is playing too loudly. Maybe the trumpet is too soft. When we start working with these parts that do help us and protect us, we start to be the conductor of our own orchestra.
Hello, Heal Squad. We are back with another live episode from our day of reset. If you haven't heard, a few weeks ago, we did something we had been dreaming about for such a long time. We took everything we talk about on this show, the modalities, the practitioners, the mindset, the work, and we brought it into a real room. So today, I'm sharing that healing panel, which was incredible. I think it was the top rated thing there. And we had 3 of the most trusted healers in my world in one room in front of our live audience, showing us what it actually looks like to reset a nervous system that has been run on caffeine, cortisol, adrenaline, and a never-ending to-do list. To reset the mind, Tammy Valicenti, EMDR expert, was there. To reset the nervous system, Gabby Piccirilli. To reset the body, Anthony DiSalvo. And this is the Heal Squad Mind Body Reset panel, live from the day of reset. Let's get into it.
So I want to introduce our incredible panelists and healers here. Each person is going to represent a different pathway to healing. And so we're going to cut to a little video right now so that you can learn a little bit more.
What if your anxiety isn't just anxiety? Your brain fog isn't random. What if your body is trying to tell you something?
If we don't understand how and why these neural pathways are being formed through a thought that is constant, that keeps going in the background, we cannot break the cycle.
But healing doesn't look the same for everyone. For some, it starts in the body. For others, it starts in the mind.
Nothing worked like EMDR. There were times in 1 to 3 sessions, symptoms of PTSD were gone, people were functioning again.
It just takes your consistent dedication. That dedication that you actually are deserving of this. You deserve to be able to know how to help yourself and to create change, and it's worth doing it.
What if your body isn't broken? What if's adapting? What if healing isn't about doing more, but learning what your body needs? Together, let's reset the mind, the body,
the nervous system.
Please welcome to the stage our mind-body healing panelists.
Okay, so here to reset the mind, Tammy Valicenti is a psychotherapist and trauma expert with over 25 years helping people heal anxiety, trauma, and nervous system overwhelm using EMDR, internal family systems, and transformational therapy techniques that help create change faster. Tammy helps people understand the stories, patterns, and protective parts running underneath the stress through her method called Transformation Solution. Thank you for being here, Tammy.
Thank you.
To reset our central nervous system, Gabby Piccirilli is a holistic health professional and creator of Regenerative Pathway Therapy, a hands-on modality focusing on regulating the central nervous system through the nerve endings. Gabby's work is all about helping the body shift from survival mode back into regulation. Hello, Gabby. And then to reset our energy flow, we have Anthony DiSalvo, a traditional Chinese medicine physician and board certified acupuncturist who helps people regulate stress, pain, vertigo, migraines, and nervous system symptoms through ancient Chinese practices. Anthony and I met through a mutual friend, a YouTube personality you might have seen on the show, Rebecca Zamolo. And I had been searching for someone to do acupuncture for almost 3 decades in LA, never found anybody that moved the needle. And she's like, you need to go to Anthony. She set me up, and it was the perfect time. I really needed it because I eventually ended up with vertigo. And I'll never forget, I should pull the Ring camera footage because we were working over the phone. He's like, okay, try this. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, oh no, that's bad. No. And then he's like, okay, try this other thing. And I was like, I'm scared. And so I did it. And then I go, oh my God, it's gone. And so that was all on camera because I did look back at it just because, of course, I want to see the crazy reactions. But he not only showed me the exact pressure points to help, but he also helped me understand how Chinese medicine has been talking about stress living in the body for thousands of years before we had words like cortisol and dysregulation and what they did understand way back then. And now we're kind of finally catching back up to it. So I am so excited because this is going to be very interactive as well. So you're not going to just be listening because that's boring. So I guess I want to first start with what is healing? And we're going to throw the word healing around, of course, but what actually does it mean? And I think, Tammy, we go with you first.
Sure, absolutely. Healing is more than just dealing with symptoms, right? If we were just dealing with symptoms, we'd take a pill for a headache, or we'd manage our sleep issues with some good sleep hygiene. But I really see healing as getting underneath what the issue is and working with it in a way that there's a resolution and a transformation.
I love that. So, Gabby, you're next. Can the body begin healing before the mind fully catches up? And what are the signs the nervous system is maybe feeling safe again?
My deep belief, and I'll take this to the grave, is that everything starts with your perception and your thought. It's a thought, a perception of something that happened to you, that then you are conditioned to believe that that is the reality of what your situation is that you're living through. And so does it start in the mind? Yes, 100%. Is your body showing physical signs? Of course, because that's the only way that your body can express itself to you. The beauty of what everybody does is we try to understand the journey of healing. And healing is a journey, in my opinion. Healing is something that, because you're here, obviously you're curious about what healing means for you. And by the way, Anthony and I were speaking before we came on, each person in this room, in the world, will have a different recipe for what their healing looks like. But it all starts for everybody with a thought. So,
well, one of my favorite things I learned at a Tony Robbins seminar was what you believe will be. And that's why with my mom, when she was sick, I kept saying, Mom, you're a miracle. You are a miracle. Until the fat lady sings, you're a miracle. But also, at that point, like I walked both paths. I was like, I believe in your miracle. And then I also believe that your time might come. And, you know, that's just totally out of my control. But if you walk through this journey believing you're a miracle, then you will be. Like I realized recently, you know, I'm always like, God, please continue to flow in abundance of health, of miraculous healing. And I go through my list of things. And one day I go, oh my God, I'm an asshole. I've been asking for something you've already given me. Do I look like someone who has a brain tumor, type 1 diabetes, Hashimoto's, pernicious anemia, liver lesions, fibrosis, intestinal metaplasia, atrophic gastritis? Well, the fibroid just left with the ivermectin, so that's gone. I mean, I'm sure I missed something in there. The diagram is hilarious. I took it to the doctor. I was like, how do I heal this? And they just looked at me, and I'm like, I figured that. Do I look like that? Did you see me on the beach? Did I act like that?
No.
I was like, I already am the miracle. And so I believe that. I do. Now, does it mean that I don't get stressed sometimes trying to whack-a-mole some things when the fatigue hits and I'm like, oh gosh, is it from the Hashimoto's? Is it from the high blood sugar? Is it from this? Is it from that? Yes, of course, I'm human. But when I return to my alignment, it's no, I am a miracle. And so I believe that. Anthony, in Chinese medicine, is healing a destination or a daily practice? And what did ancient medicine understand about stress that we in modern times have forgotten?
Well, yeah, it's definitely a daily practice, a way of life. And Chinese medicine was created as a kind of a framework to guide ourselves with what happens in nature happens in us. And they looked at what happened in the environment and looked at the processes in us, and they mirrored each other. And this gave great insight, and it's something to live in accord with as best as you can. And regarding stress, in Chinese medicine, we understand that stress actually affects the liver first. It's not the kidneys like we understand in Western medicine, adrenal fatigue, fight or flight. That is a different pathway, but it is not understood as the first for Chinese medicine. The liver is affected with anger, with anxiety, and that has an impact on other organs such as insulting the lung, causing allergies, causing sneezing, affecting the spleen and the stomach and the pancreas, creating IBS, gastritis, hernias, diabetes, affecting the large intestines as well. And so we look at it from a lens of harmony, and stress is looked at as something not to avoid, because there's good stress and there's bad stress. We wouldn't be here if there wasn't good stress. Our cells divide, you know, they need stress to do so. You need stress to heal, but there is the stress that creates negative actions and consequences on the physical organs. And that is the connection between spirit, mind, and body. And they're never separate. They're part of each other, and they affect each one. It's not just a one-way street. It can go the other way. And so we look at that harmony. And if stress is something that's showing up, well, all of these things that you guys are sharing today is these different places you can look at where you're getting stressed and looking at it from a different perspective and then doing something about it with certain tools. And that's kind of like just a brief overview of this.
So with all the stuff in my liver, you're basically saying I am stressed and very angry? I'm angry, and what was the other thing? You hold your anger and your, stress.
All this anxiousness, all of that.
Angry?
However, emotions are healthy. Anger is healthy. Fear is healthy. Sadness is healthy. But when it gets out of balance, when it's continuous, that's when the organ is affected. But there's the other side of anger that is also affecting the liver and helping it. Right? There's the other side of sadness, right? That is helping the lungs. And so we look at the balance, acknowledging the emotions, but then regulating them, not letting them take over you, not suppressing the anger and not living in the anger.
I love that. So I think a lot of people don't even realize that they're dysregulated. Do you guys feel that? Yeah. What would you say, Anthony, are the signs that people should be understanding?
It's a good question because everyone's different. Everyone presents differently, and we have these pattern differentiations in Chinese medicine. I can't treat the same person for their dysregulation as the next one. Gabby, we were talking about this earlier. Everyone's unique. How you present to the world, how you react to the world or respond to the world is unique. So every person has
when I was on the table and I was picking my cuticles and biting my cuticles, is that nervous system dysregulation?
Yeah.
Clenching your jaw.
Clenching your jaw. Clenching your jaw is the liver overacting on the stomach in Chinese medicine. TMJ is not a disorder of the stomach originating. Well, it is a disorder of the stomach originating, and that's from the effect the liver has on it. So I don't treat TMJ by treating the jaw. I help the stomach calm down and the liver calm down, and it changes. The mind can change. You probably help people, all of you, with this. We're helping the mind calm. There's the pattern in Chinese medicine, they're calming the mind or other systems of the nervous system, and this is affecting your organs, which then has a feedback, which is then calming these parts of your body, because your nerves are instructing to your muscles. They're instructing to your blood flow, to your fascia, all of it.
Oh, we're going to talk about fascia later. Gabby, from your RPT method and a central nervous system lens, what's the first thing that you touch to regulate a nervous system?
The very first thing, again, it starts from the head. So I touch, and I did it for you this morning, right in between your eyebrows. There is a major conjunction of nerves right here. And if you just simply take your fingers, relax your feet, close your eyes, and just touch this point and just connect with it and breathe into this. Relax your shoulders. Relax your mouth and your tongue. Breathe into this spot. You have the ability to calm your nervous system within 10 seconds. There are times where I instruct people to do exactly this because I feel that we can self-regulate. And this is where it starts. It starts in your head. Just like the thought started in your head, which then affected your body, it's the exact same thing. If you don't know what's first and what to do, start by touching your head. And the yawn means, by the way, that your central nervous system has let go. Don't stop the yawn.
Excuse me.
You know, when you're in public, of course, we're taught, like, cover your mouth, okay. But no, here we're fine. But I'm just saying that yawn, when people yawn in front of me, I say, keep going. And they feel embarrassed. No, don't feel embarrassed for your body responding to what it loves, which is the yawn. So where I begin is always the head. And if you're in my breakout session, I'm going to teach you how to use your own two hands to become your own self-regulator. And that will start to develop your centers for your own healing. Because, by the way, there's nothing more special than me or Anthony or Maria or anybody, Tammy. It doesn't matter. We're all healers. We all started from the exact same place. It's just an art that we decided to explore and be curious about, and then share with the world and share with other people. But if you're interested, then follow that path and start from your head. Just start by touching your head, touching your ears. Anthony will tell you, this is your entire body in your ear. So if you have a headache, like, you can totally eliminate the headache by manipulating your own two ears. And just try it now, even just for, 5 seconds. Just take all of that cartilage and move it around in a circular motion, starting from right the back of your ear, and feel it, like, pull on it gently, breathe into it. Do you know how much stress you're going to alleviate by just doing this? And if you do one side, do the other as well. Don't leave one side hanging. It's true.
Anthony's taught me that. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So we jumped ahead to some of these things, but I think some of you may have heard Gabby was the one who healed my friend of Bell's palsy in a couple of days. His face was literally whoa, and then it went right back. And has anyone ever dealt with Bell's palsy in here? You have. So you know how devastating it is, and you know how they send you home with a bag of meds, and then they're like, we don't know what's going to happen. And so why I love what we're getting to do today is expose you to people who show you, again, that healing is possible. that there are people out there who have answers that don't come in a bag of medicines and a boot out the door. And by the way, I'm not trying to be negative about doctors, because I keep always saying, like, we need them, they're amazing, but they don't know some of this stuff. That's not in their training. And you have to remember, they're trained in a certain way. And so you find Gabby, and in less than 4 days, he's not only did she heal him of the Bell's palsy, he did a testimonial on the show, and he was like, his whole life completely changed. So she touched on so much more than that. And so I know, like, with Clavi therapy, which is that Polish therapy system that you've worked with, maybe you can tell them a little bit about Clavi therapy.
So just very briefly, I'm the only certified therapist that will practice this therapy on this continent. So if you haven't heard of it, that's totally normal, because nobody knows about it, actually. The reason why I don't gatekeep this information, but it's just so new, and it wasn't too well received when I was starting to work on certain ailments that are very commonplace, because people were healing too quickly, and I had to keep it very quiet. And due to the fact that I happen to be working on people that are in the public eye, especially, I had to really keep it under wraps, because then it's like this whole big thing, as Jenny explained. You start dealing with a lot of negative news and press and all kinds of stuff. So that's counterproductive to what I do. And so if you haven't heard of it, this is why. But it's basically, very briefly, it's a therapy that uses these metal sticks that look like pencils that are very sharp. The therapy never ruptures the skin. It works on the surface of the skin, and it works the nerve receptors on your entire body. So in addition to working acupuncture points, energy points, I also work on the anatomy of the central nervous system, which is a huge question mark for many people, for professionals, because it's so underrated and misunderstood. And this doctor in Poland that I had the great privilege of learning directly under, who developed this therapy, taught me everything that he knew, and I'm able to tap into certain things like Bell's palsy that is incurable in such a short period of time, because that's the body's own ability to heal through the skin. And again, we're going to get deeper into it in the breakout, but your skin is the gateway into your body. It's the largest organ. It's what we have to pay attention to and understand. Your skin tells you everything. I can look at someone's body, their skin, and tell you exactly what nerve where, what muscle, what ligament is weak.
So, Anthony, we've talked about the nervous system being overwhelmed today and overloaded and overstimulated. How do we make this practical now? Because maybe someone in this room wakes up anxious every morning. Maybe someone gets migraines. Maybe someone feels dizzy or nauseous or panicked, whatever it is, but they can't fully calm down. When the nervous system is at that all-time high, or as I say, like the kettle's running hot, what can people do for themselves right now that's accessible?
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay.
We need Tone Loc to come in and be like, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, so you work with what you got, your hands. So this is something that was taught to be by my mentor, Dr. Yu, because of my issues that I was going through of being in chronic states of tension. Even though I was laid back, easygoing, athletic, I call resting tension. I couldn't let it go. I didn't like massages. Stretching was challenging despite efforts with it, the nervous system affecting my muscles and other aspects. So he taught me this based off of Chinese medicine's understanding of the body and the mapping of the body that we have on different parts of our body. And the hands represent every part of our body. So we're going to engage in them.
When you say that, what is every part of our body?
So we divide, it's almost like a holograph of the body representation. Our thumb represents our brain, head, and neck. Our index finger represents our arms. Our middle finger represents our torso. Our ring finger represents our legs, and our pinky represents tailbone coccyx area. And we can have an influence through the nervous system to the rest of the body this way. So that's how they've understood it. Because the thing is as he explained to me, when we are in fight or flight or worried, we crunch up. We have to climb to get away, right? We're tight. You hold your phone too tight now. Steering wheel. Grab your purse. Sitting here, I don't know. Maybe your hands curling up while your hands are on your lap.
I used to have nail marks in my palms.
Yeah.
Wow. Deep nail marks.
Right. So your nervous system's on fire, right? And this is a way of interrupting the signal to the brain. And it's just simple by stretching. You can start with your thumb, you can start with your fingers, but that's all you do right now. You just stretch. Stretch your thumb, stretch your index finger. Don't hurt yourself stretching, and just stretch. One at a time, all of them at a time. And you can shake it out if you want. And you do it again. And you breathe.
Maybe that's
Don't
why
forget to breathe.
ecstatic dance, when I do this, it feels so good.
Yeah. These are connections through the body. And here's the thing. You're interrupting the signal, but your programming so far of everything up until this point has still been there. Fight or flight, nervousness, stress. So you have to go back to it. So he would say, just do it anytime you could remember throughout the day. Take a moment.
It's your new habit.
As soon as you feel yourself or sense yourself getting tense, stressed, or something, just come back to it and breathe. For me, he said, look, you got to continue this for maybe 6, maybe 9 months. I don't know. Everyone's a little different. But if you do this, you'll shift. And for me, it took about 7 months of daily habit of this. 7 months.
What did you feel?
It was like, he told exactly what he told me. He's like, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to go about your day, and all of a sudden you're going to take a second pause and you're going to be like, hey, dude, something's different. And that's exactly what happened. I just woke up, went through my day, and I was doing my points, and I'm like, wait a minute. Dude, this is what it feels like to be relaxed. That's what everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
And it hasn't come back since. I don't have to dedicate myself every day to doing this, but I still do it. I still do my points with practice. I do it when I teach my patients or anyone. I still do the point. I don't just talk about it, because that's an opportunity to keep helping. That's one of them. The other one is when there's panic or stress. We go straight to our heart points on the palms. 2 points on your palms. When you close your fingers gently, where your middle finger touches and when your pinky finger touches, right in there. Soft spots between the bones. It's the interosseous space of the hand. And the middle part is on the pericardium channel. The pericardium is the thin sac protecting the heart. The outside one is the heart channel. Now, the pericardium in Chinese medicine is what protects us from initial emotions and stress of what we deal with day to day. When that gets affected and overburdened, it gets weak, then stuff gets to the heart. Then we see heart pathologies. So we want to help our pericardium throughout the day. And you just push. If it's too hard on your fingers, take a pen. Take a pen with the cap on it, push on it. Anyone sore? Yeah, I don't know. You'll see on one hand, one might be more sore than the other. You don't need to know why, but that's an energy imbalance between yin and yang in the body, and also yin and yang of the organ itself. And you can self-regulate. When you do this, you are literally creating nerve conduction that is going from the brain, relaying to your heart to help the heart with its own nourishment. The heart has its coronary sinus. It feeds itself because it needs to keep pumping. And this self-regulates. I've had to help a random stranger in a panic attack from a car accident. They rear-ended me and got in the car. It's unfortunate, but they struggled so much with very bad nervous system overload. This was one of many kind of fender benders, and young girl. And parents were on the phone. I say, I can help. I'm a Chinese medicine physician. Do I have your permission? She's like, yeah, hyperventilating. I said, let me have your hands. I just held her hands and I pushed on her heart points and held them. And within 30 seconds, she started to calm down. And after maybe 2 minutes, just holding and breathing, regulating, she turned to me and said, how did you do that? I've never been able to calm down so quickly. And I said, your heart was just having too much heat. It's a term in Chinese medicine. That's vexation, that's stress, that's panic. It needed its nourishment because it starts to shunt. It's a medical term. It starts to shunt off blood supply. When we're panicking, the chest gets tight. That affects breathing. That affects heart rate. You need to open it up and breathe again and calm the mind. Because the other thing is spirit, mind, and body. In Chinese medicine, the soul resides in the heart. This is also in most major religions. Spirit, the soul is in the heart. So you're calming your spirit, your soul, when you're directly connecting with it, with your body. Plus, you bring yourself back. I believe you're going to do tapping later, right? This is bringing yourself back to your body.
Yeah.
Staying connected, knowing you're grounded. So between these, you get to have fun. Okay? And preventative, the daily kind of thing. It's not about when you have a panic attack. If you are prone to this, or you have phobias like claustrophobias or anxiety on the airplane, this is something to do every day. I usually send a guideline of every hour. It's just 30 seconds or a minute. You're checking emails, do it again. You know, you have a little break, come back, do it again. And it's just the regular habit building and remembering to come back. And it affects your whole system and then your heart.
And it worked.
Yeah.
I don't know if I told you guys, but when I was on the table, did I tell you guys already the story about him? When I was on the table and he was like, you're picking at your cuticles. Can I give you a new habit? And I was like, sure. And so he's like, just do this. I was like, okay. And so I was doing it. And then all of a sudden my whole body went numb. And I go, what did you do? Where did you just put a needle? And he goes, I've been putting the needles in the same places. It's this. You're resetting your nervous system. And it was so powerful because I was like, whoa, my body feels like it's actually maybe going to levitate. Like it's floating. It felt so good. And I was like, it's such an easy thing to do. Tammy, you said you do it on your steering wheel.
I do. When I'm driving, I'll push each finger one at a time. Yeah. And my thumb. It was just, I didn't know about this until I spoke with you today. It was just a natural stress response in traffic.
Yeah, this is why can't stop yawning now. Thank you for that. I also think, and I don't know if you're going to do this in the breakouts, but there's so many other amazing points. Like if you want to poop, just go like this and hold these points by the side of your finger.
For
pooping.
The constipation point is on your forearm.
No, but I do this one to poop too. This one.
That's your lung channel point.
No, this always makes me poop. Okay, so the point is, he talks about the daily practice, and so I do my daily practice every day. I do my channels up my legs.
It's good.
I do these, and then I do my fingers, but I swear, maybe because I go to this one after, and then I poop.
I could draw a correlation because in Chinese medicine, the lung and the large intestines are a yin and yang pair. They affect each other.
She knew.
Yes. So you can have some extra effect.
Yeah.
I'm just so happy you're doing that.
I am. No, I listen. Trust me, because I see when it works, I want to keep pooping. No, but I want to keep everything happening. So resetting the mind. Tammy, you mentioned in the past that the idea that there are different parts of us.
Yes.
Like one part of us wants rest while another one keeps pushing.
Yes.
Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think what you're talking about is internal family systems therapy. And actually, you don't have to go to therapy to do it on yourself. The belief is, and actually, it's not a belief, it's an absolute 100% knowing. One, we were born perfect. Yes, you. Yes, you. Yes, you. We were all born perfect. And then life happens, right? And we develop these protectors, like anxiety, like the belief, the irrational negative belief that I'm not lovable, that I'm not good enough. Or maybe it's the pain in my back. And all of these protectors start covering up the truth of us, which is we are perfect. So we are born perfect, we are born aligned, we are born with everything we need inside of us, right? And we are born spirit, we are born God, divine, language of your knowing. And then these things happen as we go through life and they cover that light up, right? And all of those are parts. And This aligned part, when we work specifically from this aligned part with those specific parts, like the back pain, like the anxiety, like the panic, like the irrational negative belief, those parts start to step back a little bit. For example, if you see yourself as the conductor of your orchestra, maybe the tuba is playing too loudly. Maybe the trumpet is too soft. When we start working with these parts that do help us and protect us, we start to be the conductor of our own orchestra. And you can start then to see how we start playing beautifully. And we can go through life feeling more aligned and more in flow. Does that make sense? So instead of saying, I'm anxious, there's a part of me that's anxious. Do you feel the difference? Right. And so, a few weeks ago, I found myself, I'm not an anxious person, but I found myself anxious for a few days. I was frustrated with it. I ignored it. I pushed it down like a good American. Right? But like a petulant toddler, it keeps coming at me, and it's going to keep coming at me more ferociously until I turn my gaze to it. As I'm driving, I remembered, oh, right, I can turn my gaze to it. When I turn my gaze to this anxiety and say, I can feel you, I know you're there, and then ask some questions. What is your story? What do you want to show me? And then ultimately, what do you need from me? Guess what? I have some space from that anxiety. It is not me. Myself, the divine being that I am, is not blended with that part anymore. And I'm feeling relief almost immediately. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but how do you do that?
In session or as just
like
a person?
If it's you, like, well, first of all, gazing this way, I'm crashing my car. But like, how do you turn your gaze to your anxiety? Like, how do I really, is it because you're acknowledging it?
Right. So yes, I'm turning my attention.
So then you separate it from you because it's something else.
Exactly.
Okay.
So now I can feel the difference between me, the observer, and the part that's feeling the anxiety. And from that place, I can hear the stories that my anxiety wants to tell me.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm never going to get it right. This is going to be a mess. What a fucking nightmare.
Exactly. So I say, great.
Just
for
a friend. Okay.
I hear you, anxiety. I can't get it right. It's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Right? And what else? What else is your story? Right. I understand it. And so now we're connecting.
I have to do everything for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm speaking for you guys.
And then ultimately, what do you need from me?
Be nice to me.
Right. What else do you need from me?
Permission to relax.
Right. That part is almost always saying to you, I'm working really freaking hard here and I need a rest. Yeah. And when you show up and make connection with it, that allows that part to go, I can rest.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Before we go into anything else, because I don't know if you got to properly explain EMDR. I mean, like Harvard studied this. This is like a very well-studied therapy. Can you just share? Did I in my brain miss that? Am I crazy?
No, not at all. Do you want to talk about EMDR or bilateral stimulation?
I just want people to understand what EMDR is, because has anyone in this room done EMDR? Okay, a few people. It's a really powerful therapy for trauma, and I just wanted to explain that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Love to do that.
Great.
So briefly, EMDR stands for eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. It was a technique that was discovered about 30 years ago by Dr. Francine Shapiro, and she realized that when she thought about something disturbing and moved her eyes back and forth, that it became less disturbing. She developed EMDR out of that, and since then it's been studied, like you said, at Harvard and other places, and been recommended by the VA, the World Health Organization, the American Psychological Association, and others. And within, I was trained by Dr. Francine Shapiro about 25 years ago, and I thought it was absolutely crazy. And then I took it back to my office, and at the time I was working specifically with survivors of rape and sexual assault. And I kid you not, 1 to 3 sessions, I say this all the time, but 1 to 3 sessions, PTSD was completely gone. And we had never seen anything like that in our offices. And at that point, it hadn't been studied, and people thought we were a little crazy for doing it. But I wasn't going to stop doing it because I knew people were getting relief. And a piece of it, do you want me to get into the bilateral stimulation?
Yeah, by the way, I really want you to hear what she said is like, they hadn't studied it yet. So just remember when I talk about on the show that there are sometimes you're going to have to go rogue a little bit and try some stuff. But if you've seen examples of it working and you've heard, if you've seen results from something, sometimes you don't have time. You have stage 4 something or other. You don't have time to wait for the FDA to come approve something. Why do they allow you to go with their little clinical trial so that they can go make all this money off of it? You should understand that sometimes you have to take those chances to try something different. And, look, eventually this became a very well-revered technique for people. And everybody I've sent Tammy's way has had 1 session success. It's very powerful. And of course, she's, again, another one has like the Holy Spirit flowing through her. She is so pure. She cries with everybody on the phone. She loves everybody so much. You're like so special, and you know how much I'm like grateful you always answer the call. But I want you, share a little bit about the tapping, the bilateral stimulation.
Yeah, so a piece of EMDR is bringing in bilateral stimulation. And bilateral stimulation...
I forgot something.
Yes.
You said something that clicked, and I have to remember this. So you said that she realized it when she was watching something traumatic. So if you... I know this sounds crazy, but if you're in a traumatic moment, should you just move your eyes side to side? If you're watching something horrible, a car crash or whatever, is that what you should do?
I mean, I think that could be part of it, but although Anthony brought up something really important, the co-regulation. If we had droves of EMTs and first responders trained in co-regulation, just to not even do what you were doing, but just to touch another human and look them in the eyes. And this is Peter Levine's work on trauma. That seemingly traumatic event will not be traumatic.
Yeah.
If you add some bilateral stimulation, some tapping, move your feet back and forth, butterfly hug, move your eyes back and forth. Absolutely. You're processing in real time, because the bilateral stimulation does a whole bunch of things, but it's regulating your nervous system. It's literally dropping your blood pressure and your heart rate, but it's also helping you consolidate memories and process emotions. And I really believe one of the ways or the reasons that it's doing that, and Anthony touched on this earlier, is that we are nature. And nature is something that has a rhythm to it, right? And so when we are literally tapping and providing that rhythm for ourselves, we are allowing ourselves to do what we're able to do more efficiently. Thank you.
Thank you, Tam. That's amazing.
I hope you guys loved that, friends, with Tammy, Gabby, and Anthony. If you guys take one thing from this, let it be this. You don't need $10,000 of worth of wellness routines to heal. You need consistency, a few small daily signals to your body that it is safe, whether it's an acupressure point or a round of bilateral tapping, a breath, whatever it is, it also can be within your reach. And that's what I love to share and what we get to share here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll put resources for all of the healers inside the show notes below. And as always, until next time, be nice people, make good choices, and be present. Hey, Heal Squad. We have been on quite the journey together, and we're hearing from so many of you just how much this show is helping you heal and get better, and it makes us feel so good. We love, love, love it, and we just ask that you don't keep it to yourself. Spread the message and share the show or your favorite episode with your friends. And if you want to help us even more, you can leave us a 5-star rating and a comment on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and follow us on Instagram at Heal Squad. You can also DM us anytime because we love connecting with you. And finally, you can also join us on Patreon for our monthly live heal events with world-class healers and ad-free episodes exclusive only to Patreon and our Super Heal Squad for as little as $10 a month. So go to patreon.com/Heal Squad to join. Getting better isn't easy, friends, but as I say all the time, it's a whole lot easier if we can do it together. We love you all so much, and we love doing this thing called life with you.
This podcast and all related content published or distributed by or on behalf of Maria Menounos or MariaMenounos.com is for informational purposes only and may include information that is general in nature and that is not specific to you. Any information or opinions expressed or contained herein are not intended to serve as or replace medical advice, nor to diagnose, prescribe, or treat any disease, condition, illness, or injury, and you should consult the healthcare professional of your choice regarding all matters concerning your health, including before beginning any exercise, weight loss, or healthcare program. If you have or suspect you may have a healthcare emergency, please contact a qualified healthcare professional for treatment. Any information or opinions provided by a guest expert or host featured within website or on company's podcast are their own, not those of Maria Menounos or the company. Accordingly, Maria Menounos and the company cannot be responsible for any results or consequences or actions you may take based on information or opinions.